Hey guys, Cody and Erica at Bar 7 Ranch.
Welcome to today's video.
Today we are going to be moving the sheep and the heifers, so we're going to talk to you a little bit about some pasture management. So come along.
They're already like, feed me, feed me.
Clance is over here on the feed truck moving around, and everybody's like, oh, what's going on there? So
some of the sheep already jumped the cattle garden.
I think so, but now looking at it from now, I don't know that they did. So
I don't know. We're going to go find out.
Let's go see.
Let's go. Well, the suspicions were correct.
Yeah.
We got sheep that jumped this cattle garden right here.
So just as I suspected, the sheep, I saw them take off running. I'm like, what are they doing up there? The dogs weren't making any noise, so I knew there wasn't something in them. But you can see a lot of these ewes have decided that they want to be over here grazing instead of where they're supposed to be. And you wouldn't think it, but they're jumping this cattle guard right here. I guess it's a cattle guard, not a sheep guard. But we're going to move them up to the house, and we're going to put them back behind the electric fence. That way they got to stay where we want them to. Because part of what we're doing with this grazing that we're trying to establish is we want to keep these sheep kind of confined to certain areas and grazing just what's there, because if you allow them to just do what they want to do, they're going to eat all the most desirable stuff first, leave the undesirable stuff, and what ends up happening is your weeds and the things you don't want, they flourish and continue to multiply and grow, and your good grass, they just keep hammering it, and it dwindles away over time. So we're going to move them, put them behind the electric fence, get them where we want them to stay, and start working on that. That way when we tighten them up, when we tighten them up and put them in a smaller grazing area, they have to eat everything, because in their mind, if I don't get what they're saying to themselves is, if I don't get everything I can right now, then I'm going to miss out and I'm going to be hungry. So we're trying to change their grazing patterns.
And we were doing good on that, but we had to take it down. We had to take our electric fence down because we lent it out. We
needed it on a lease place, some cows that we take care of. We needed to put it over there because they were putting a new fence up on the road, and we didn't want to have to move the cows, so we took it over there.
So we hadn't been able to implement that for the last few weeks.
But it's back home now, and we're just going to be electrifying for these sheep. So let's get the gate open. Clance is pulling up with the feed truck, and we'll go get around the sheep, and he'll call them through the gate, and we're going to take them up there and put them in the pasture in front of the house. This is a coastal field that we sprigged this spring, and I don't want the sheep in here yet because I want this grass to really get established. So I want it to grow as much as it can before we start trying to graze it and stuff. So that's why I want to get them out of here. We may put them up here later on, but for right now, I don't want them in here.
They like the feed truck.
Everybody likes the feed truck. They got him roadblocked. They won't get out of his way so he can get up ahead of them. So.
Is that an alpaca?
Yeah, both of them alpacas
found their way
down there at the tank. I don't really care if they go in there or not. I'd just assume they'd be out here so they're not getting in the water trough.
Yeah.
Catch this ewe. Give her some scour boluses, but see her head.
Mm-hmm.
See her jaws all swollen up.
Yep.
I don't know if she got worms or what's going on there. If she got bit by something or what. She sure don't look wormy, but maybe that's what it is. Good job, Clance. We got them. Now we got to do is close the gates. Okay, so guys, back to our regularly scheduled program. So what I was getting at is when we look at this pasture, this side we had grazed we grazed it for about 2 weeks. And you can see as you look across it, the grass is starting to, the Bermuda grass, this green stuff in here, is starting to pop up and come through the old dead growth. and there's not hardly any weeds in it. You sure don't see any kind of sunflowers or anything popping up until you get to right here where we mowed. And that, like that one little sunflower that's right there on the edge right there, it was too close to the fence. They didn't eat it because of the fence there. But as we move over to this side, you can see there is more grass here because it didn't get grazed, but there's also, we've got some sunflowers that are starting to come up. Right here, we've got a broomweed that's coming up where we didn't have that on the other side. And what I think we're gonna see in probably a week's time is, I think within 3 days they will have mowed down all the sunflowers in here, and then they'll begin to work on the coastal. So what we've begun to notice is, and everybody knows this, but it's really neat when you see it come into effect, is that the cattle are they're looking for something completely different than what the sheep are looking for, and even the goats, the Angora goats, go after something different than the sheep do. So really, if you can utilize 3 or 4 different species of animals in your rotational grazing, you can really begin to see some huge benefits in weed control, where you're not having to run across it with a tractor or a spray rig and do a lot of spraying and stuff like that. So the cows are going to eat these leafy grasses and stuff. The sheep are going to eat, they love these sunflowers and those broomweeds. They're going to hit those. And then the more, we don't have them in this pasture because it's a hayfield, or was a hayfield. The goats will come back and get the stuff that's a little more stemmy. So the next step in this little process, now that we've got everything moved in here, is either this afternoon or tomorrow we're going to set up our electric fence.
Wow, I don't know what that was. Sorry, I just got stung by something. Sorry,
I don't know either. So we're going to come in and we're going to set up our range ward electric fence right here along the edge of where we've mowed here, and we're going to keep the sheep and the cattle over here on this side of the road for probably 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks, just depending on how it holds up on the grazing. I want to take about a half, maybe 3/4 of this, but not much more than that. I don't want to graze it down to the dirt. In doing that, that'll let the pasture where they've been rest. It'll let this side continue to rest. You can see they're going after all that tender grass that's coming up over there. I want to put them over here. This is a little more mature and make them eat it. And then from here, we've got another 10 acres, 11 acres over there that we're going to move them to, and we'll probably cut it in half and put them on 2 little 5-acre spots there for a couple of weeks. By that time, this will be ready to hit, or some of this up here. So my goal is to just keep moving them like that. So that's where we're at right now. So we'll get the fence put up.
Now I'm going to take Bub to basketball, and then maybe we'll come back and put the fence up.
Maybe. Sounds great.
Unless Cody goes and sits on the couch and...
Really? Because that happens so often.
It might. Today it's Sunday, and I
got plenty of stuff to do.
Have been wanting to do that, but we're trying to get our stuff done. So maybe on Tuesday we can, since it's a holiday, we can relax.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
What do you have planned Tuesday?
Everything.
Our independence.
Every day.
We're going to celebrate our independence from Great Britain by being independent from the man, and we're going to work for ourselves.
What do you think about that?
You already work for yourself.
All right, let's go to basketball.
Hey, Dad.
What?
Can we get